This is my new series where I will backtest every month from January 2022 to January 2026. I will be using the same model and set rules for each trade. This is the model and set rules I will follow. So the model being prices delivering from a higher time frame key level with trace width to a 5 or 15 minute fair value gap, and then an inverse fair value gap made from the manipulation leg. I'll be targeting a 1-to-1, sometimes a 1-to-5, but mainly a 1-to-1. On live I usually make it a 1-to-5, but for backtest it'll mainly be 1-to-1. I'll only take reversals once a higher time frame key level gets hit, and then a 5 minute or 15 minute fair value gap gets created afterwards. Some rules I will follow is I'll only be taking trades from 9:30 to 11 a.m. as that's when I trade live markets, and I'll only be doing 2 trades a day and only 1 loser trade a day. To keep it simple, once again, that's how I trade on live markets. How I'm going to manage my position is stop loss will be moved to break even if a opposite SMT is formed, or if the trade is invalid, meaning if ES takes my break even point, I will not enter my position on NQ. Okay, so starting off on the first day of January, well, it's January 4th, but over the weekend was January 1st, but whatever. I'm setting up ES and NQ. Starting off with a daily time frame, just looking to see if it respected anything, disrespecting previous day highs, you know the deal. So right here I'm drawing out some buy side. I realize we have relative equal highs on the 4-hour time frame, so potential draw on liquidity. There's also a 4-hour bullish fair value gap, so that's why I ideally want to take a long at would be right there. We have this low resistant liquidity on the 1-hour, so that's a potential target if I want to short. For me to take shorts, I need to see price enter this 1-hour bearish fair value gap. So I can't short until that gets taken. So I'm really just waiting for one of these key levels to get taken for me to take a trade. If we hit the 4-hour, then I would like to target the 1-hour. And then if we hit the 1-hour, I would like to target that low resistant liquidity run. So just seeing what's on the 15-minute, if there's any potential trades. We have this 15-minute intermediate high. So just extra confluence for drawing liquidity, but overall just seeing what's going on. 5 minutes just complete chop. So market's about to open right now. Market's open and we instantly dump, sweeping my low resistant liquidity and tap with the 4-hour. So right here I want to take longs. Check it ES to see if there's any SMTs or whatnot, and there actually is a bullish SMT, so I'll go ahead and draw that out. And so now I want to look for a long. The long I want to look for is that 5-minute bearish fair value gap. Oh, sorry, it's not 5 minute. That 1 minute bearish fair value gap. Because that's the manipulation leg. But as you can see, price level inversed. Instead, we saw a displacement lower. So that's not ideal for me, right? Not a good sign. Still hold that 3 minutes. We'll just dump it through. So right now I can't long and I can't short, right? Because my conditions were long in off the 4-hour, at which now we are displacing lower, or I want to short inside that 1-hour. So there's no conditions for me right now. At this point in time, I've realized that, so I'm kind of just watching the market to see if there's any potential opportunity. But for the most part, not interested in anything. Market is dumping. We did hit a high time frame key level for shorts, and we just kept dumping. So that was the end of day 1 for me. Okay, it's January 5th now. Checking the daily time frame, see what's going on. I see what bounced it off of this daily bullish fair value gap, so I'm leaning more bullish on the day. I know this is a unmitigated 4-hour bearish fair value gap, so that's a potential place I could look to short, or even look as a draw liquidity. Okay, so right here I draw the total soup that was made on the 1-hour time frame. So I'm not opposed to taking shorts either, because we are respecting this higher time frame key level, and we do have a bit of low resistant liquidity run under us. So shorts to me does not seem too bad, but us being inside the daily fair value gap does make me slightly more bullish and bearish. I notice how we have this 15-minute bearish fair value gap that was created right after making that soup. So that is where I want to short at today. That is the highest quality short I could take. So fast forwarding, market open, we just dump. So definitely giving me more of the bearish vibe. Check to see there's an SMT. There's an SMT. So, longs is still very much work here because we did sweep out this major low inside of a daily fair value gap with the SMT. So very bullish sign. Start to displace up higher, making a 5-minute bearish fair value gap, checking for SMTs once again. Okay, we inverse that 5-minute, but no trade potential. Some people might take this inversion, but I can't / want it because my break-even point was taken on NQ. And this is technically a reversal trade as well, because we're not coming out of a 5 or 15 minute, so long speed just doesn't work. We now tapped into that 15-minute, so not opposed to looking for shorts. That was my ideal spot to short. Check to see if there's any higher time frame fair value gaps we could look to inverse off of. We have this 3-minute bullish fair value gap, so this is the inversion I would like to take because it's the highest inversion inside this manipulation leg. So if we inverse this, I'm looking for shorts, which we do. Just check and make sure there's no 5-minute or 15-minute that's created. Check to see if there's an SMT with my break-even spot, because like I said, if my break-even spot is taken, there is no trade. Alright, so we look good. Drawing out my break-even spot, and that is the most recent internal low. And usually the break-even spot will be the top or bottom of the manipulation candle, or manipulation move, sorry. That's usually the case. And you'll notice that with the trades you take we see. Why it's like that, I mean, I don't know, but very common. So stop loss at the swing high, always, either just targeting a 1-to-1. Okay, we get close. All right, move my break even to this most recent internal low. It is a very tight break even spot, but that's just how my plan is. So stop loss at break even. And it becomes a break even trade for me. Overall, saw the trade, just the liquidity wasn't there. Right, we're targeting a protected low, SMT low, we're coming off a daily, so the liquidity just isn't there. I fast forward to see what the rest of AM session does, and my trade would have played out if I did move stop loss to break even, but of course you don't want to do that. Okay, moving on to day 6. This was a break even day for me. Not the best PA, but as you see, walking out these daily lows, walking out this 4-hour bearish fair value gap. So I'm interested in taking shorts if price comes back to this 4-hour bearish fair value gap, and I'm interested in longs if we take out that daily low because that's a significant draw on liquidity. I notice we have some low resistant buy side leading up to that 4-hour, so we're really not opposed to longs once we take out the daily low. Of course, I'm going to see structure afterwards, but off rip, that's kind of what I'm thinking. We do have some relative equal highs on ES, so just extra confluences that price might want to go back up to that 4-hour gap. But like I said, there's no short opportunities until we come to that 4 hours, so we're kind of in between the range, and there's not too much I could do at this moment in time. Right, so look at the 15-minute, don't see anything too special. I draw out this 1 hour fair value gap because I want to see if it holds or get inversed. because in theory we can look for shorts because we are displacing out of that 1 hour, but no 15-minute gaps were made, so there is no model. The context is there, but no model. Going to the 5 hour, there's really no clean bearish for value gaps I could look to target for shorts. So I kind of just play it out. As you see, we sort of running that low resistant liquidity off market open. So we have an open high, which means we could anticipate price to go low. We also tapped into that 4 hour bearish for value gap. So super nice. I want to see a 5 or 15-minute bearish for value gap get created from this, either retracement or look for shorts. You could take this 5-minute inversion as well if given, but it's just it's a pretty big stop loss, so that would really have to depend on how much you're willing to risk. Right here would be entry if you wanted to take it like that. However, ES took that internal low slash out break even spot, so this trade is invalid, so you cannot take that. As you see, it did end up playing out, which, you know, that happens, but there was no trade. We made a 5-minute bearish for value gap. If we get a retracement, I would look for shorts, but as you see, we never retrace back to it. We tapped that daily low, so now I'm no longer looking for shorts. I'm only looking for long. So now I want to see a 5 or 15-minute bullish for value gap get created, followed by a retracement. The reason why I want to see that is because this is a reversal. We've been bearish, and now we'll potentially flip it bullish. So I don't want to take some random IFVG. I want to see market shift in structure first. Alright, I want to see price action change. So no longer interested in shorts, looking for longs. We made this 5-minute bullish for value gap, so we get retracement to there, look for longs. We made a second 5-minute bullish for value gap, which we'll also do just fine. But as you see, we never really get a good retracement. We kind of just go up, take the draw, and we never retrace back. So no trade day, no opportunities for shorts or longs. Draw liquidity was right for both, but there was no opportunities for my model. You could have taken that 5-minute inversion, but once again, that's more of a reversal model, not a continuation model. So yeah. Okay, moving on to January 7th. On the daily, we have this daily bearish for value gap, so pretty strong draw liquidity. I'm also drawing out previous day lows, just because we are bearish, so we still might want to go low. So if we do want to go low, that's probably where we want to go. But we also have this low resistant liquidity resting just below this daily fair value gap, so very much interested in longs, just based off of liquidity. So that's what I'm kind of looking for, either previous day lows or that daily fair value gap. Those are my draws on liquidity. Once again, kind of in the middle of the range, so nothing I could do as of right now. Checking the daily, see if I missed anything. Check it 4 hour. On the 4 hour, I didn't miss it. We're currently displaced outside of this 4 hour bullish fair value gap, and we did total soup it, meaning previous day lows should ideally be a protected low. So after seeing that, I'm leaning a lot more bullish, because not only should that be a protected low, but we also total souped with the 4 hour fair value gap, meaning I could look for longs because now we have support, right? So check the 1 hour, 15-minute. I noticed we're gonna make this 15-minute bullish fair value gap at 9:30, and I also noticed we have 8:30 data highs. So data highs, super good draw liquidity. Definitely expect the price to go there. So be sure to draw that out. Now drawing out that 15-minute bullish fair value gap. So like I said, it opens up, it gets created at 9:30. It's currently 9:29. So fast forward, we did get the retracement, but no fair value gap, right? Still waiting, still waiting. Started to displace low, so I'm thinking maybe my bias is wrong, but I'm still bullish until that 15-minute gets disrespected. So until it gets disrespected, I'm bullish. Alright, seeing if a 3 minutes is gonna get created, right? Which it did. Make sure there's no 5-minute, So we want the highest time frame IFVG out the leg. So now I'm focusing on this 3 minute. I want to see price inverse this and then look for longs. We inversed it. Very bad close. Right, we're very close to our break even spot, but that's gonna happen. You can either choose to sit out on a trade like this or just accept that you're probably gonna get break even. For backtested reasons, there's no point not to take it, even at live, because price should go up higher to the data highs at bare minimum. It's just high chance if you get stopped at break even, but that's not a big deal. So break even hits, so we move stop loss break even. Make sure there's no SMTs with the data highs. Data highs did get swept and it did make a bearish SMT. At this point in time, I realized I'm probably cooked. I then stopped out break even, which is more than fine. If you wanted to, you could have taken profits at the data highs, but you would have to adjust the stop loss. I don't like doing that. I now recognize that we are fanning to run that low resistant liquidity, which is not a good sign if we're bullish, right? So I'm starting to realize, okay, maybe the bias is wrong and maybe we want to be bearish. Well, I can't take any shorts because of when I displace it out of a higher time frame key level. It is now January 10th. Market out this daily and weekly bullish fair value gap, which is by drawing liquidity. So I want to ideally short to there, and I also don't mind taking longs once we hit that. So that's kind of my conditions, what I'm looking for today. Price is clearly displacing low, and this is a very strong drawn liquidity. Check out the 4 hour to see if maybe there's a 4 hour bearish fair value gap for retracement, but there's nothing too close. We have this 1 hour, so if price retraces back to this, that's a condition where I could look for shorts. So that's something I want to see. We also have this 15-minute intermediate high resting right inside of it, so definitely the place where I want to be shorting at. So I want to wait for a pullback and then look for some sort of model. Check out the 5 minute. Nothing special on the 5 minutes. Okay, market's open. As we can see, price failed to tap into that fair value gap and it left to relative equal highs. So I can still look for shorts, but I need to see a new 5 or 15-minute bearish fair value gap get created. And the reason why I can look for this and not have to wait for this higher time frame level to get hit is because if at 9:30 we just start pumping or dumping, chances are we're gonna continue doing that for the rest of AM session. So I want to see displacement to see if I'm correct. We made this 5-minute bearish fair value gap, so I want to see retracement and then a inversion out of it. So I'm just seeing if there's any rejection points right now, but I didn't see anything that looked good. So waiting on the 1 minute, see, we tapped into it, but we didn't get no 1 minute or higher IFVG. Might have been a 30-second or 15-second play, but I prefer not trade like that. Fast forward a little bit and still nothing great. Now we did have an IFVG, but we never swept out that internal high, so that is a problem for me. Right, we actually made equal highs, so I need to see those equal highs get swept. Now I'm not really interested in shorts because we did enter a weekly bullish fair value gap. So I want to see a 5-minute bullish fair value gap get created. So I'm just waiting to see if that happens. Okay, we created one. Looking for a retracement. As you can see, price just keeps pumping and we never retrace. So this is a no trade day for me. Moving on to January 10th. Start off on the daily. Alright. We have a bullish SMT on the daily time frame. So off rip, I would like to be bullish. We'll also make it a total soup with this 4-hour bullish fair value gap. And we have a super nice drawn liquidity. being that intermediate high inside of another 4-hour bearish fair value gap with low resistant liquidity leading up to it. Very strong draw. Right here is the 4-hour bullish fair value gap. As you can see, we total souped it. Check to see if ES did. ES did not. So bullish as with T. So super confident in buys. But as you can see on the lower time frame, on the 15 and 5 minutes, we are still trending bearish despite being in this gap. So I want to see a 5 or 15 minute bullish fair value gap get created. And then of course, as you know, the retracement, the IFVG enter. So market opens, we go a little bit lower. ES takes our sell side, so no more SPT, but that's fine. Still waiting for my bullish gap. At this point in time, I'm not interested in taking shorts because we're inside of a higher time frame bullish key level. We make this 5 minute bullish fair value gap. So now I want to see a retracement and then an IFVG within the manipulation leg. Alright, check to see. We're also inside this 1 hour, so that's something to keep in mind. We're in between two different conditions, meaning we could be bullish or bearish, and you kind of just have to read internal price action, right? What is the 5 minute doing? Because we are in between two higher time frame key levels. So these days are already tricky because now you have things conflicting your trade. If you want to be bullish, you have the bearish fair value gap conflicting. If you want to be bearish, we're coming off that 4-hour bullish fair value gap, so conflicting. But just following what price action is doing right now, we're holding this 5 minute gap, so still interested in longs. Right here, drawing out my break-even spot, and then right here is another total soup inside of the 5 minute fair value gap. Draw my break-even on ES because if ES takes my break-even spot, I move to break-even even if Nasdaq did not take it. So wait for a inversion. We inverse it. I noticed that ES is very close to my break-even spot, so you just have to understand that this is more than likely a break-even trade, or it's gonna be a very fast break-even placement. But that's fine. Still valid. Check to see if ES swept it. It did not. Made relative equal high, so it's still valid. That's why I put stop loss at the swing low. So if I didn't, it would have been a loser trade. ES took my break-even spot, so obviously stop loss gets moved to break-even, even though Nasdaq did not take it. You see, I get stopped at break-even, but not only that, it would have been a losing trade if I waited for Nasdaq to take the break-even spot. So that's why I always move my stop loss to break-even when ES takes my POI. So I recognize, okay, we're starting to displace lower, so maybe we are bearish and not bullish, because realistically that trade should have played out, and I would displace a lower, make it a 5 minute bearish value gap. So I'm okay with taking shorts because, like I said, we're coming off of that 1 hour bearish value gap as well, so that's totally fine to take. I also noticed we inverse this 15 minute bullish fair value gap, so definitely needing more bearish now. So I want to see retracement and then the model. We got retracement, but then we just ripped past. So overall, just super ugly price action. Realistically speaking, if we were bullish, that 15 minute should have held. Okay, so it's January 12th now. Checking the weekly. I noticed we're displacing off that weekly bullish fair value gap still. And overall, price action has been bullish, but we still are indeed inside a bearish structure. So, bit tricky because we also have good sell side. So there's no clear draw and no clear higher time frame trend necessarily. So I'm mainly gonna be playing this off of internal price action because we are respecting two different conditions, that being this higher time frame bearish key level and bullish key level. So I'm not a big fan of trading when I see that. I prefer to keep it pretty simple, one or the other, but we can always see what's given. So just seeing what market open is going to do, set the trend for the day. Now, despite price not coming back to that higher time frame key level, I'm not opposed to taking it along here because we do have this 4-hour total soup slash protected low, because London tapped into this fair value gap, and London is supposed to do the manipulation, and usually what it does, the manipulation, it's a protected low. Right, so whenever London taps into a higher time frame key level, it's usually protected low. We're also respected this 15-minute bullish fair value gap, and on the 5-minute time frame, it does look like A plus AMD. So with that in mind, with it being AMD, I don't mind taking this trade because AMD is very strong, especially on higher time frames. So we have a very small 5-minute IFPG, which is why I was hesitant and looking at the whole time frames to see if I'm missing out on anything. NES is pretty close to my break-even spot, so confident that this will be at bare minimum break-even trade. Enter my position, stop loss at the swing low, of course. Target just a 1-to-1. So you check an ES, see if it's on my break-even spot. It has not yet. It has now taken it, so stop loss gets moved to break-even. Once again, same thing like yesterday. ES takes my break-even spot, go break-even. Now, in this situation, it is unfortunate because the trade would have hit had if I not did that. But as we saw with yesterday's trade, it's important to do so because, you know, you can still get wrecked. So I'd rather play it safe than sorry, especially if there's a opposing SMT going against me. So now I see prices start to displace low. So I don't mind looking for shorts because, like I said, we're inside that higher time frame key level, you know, that bearish fair value gap. So I want to see a 5 or 15-minute bearish fair value gap get created, retracement, etc. Now inside this 1-hour bullish fair value gap, which I'm not a fan of, because once again, we're just in between multiple different confluences. Right here, I'm drawing out the fib to see if we tapped contra encroachment of that 1-hour fair value gap, because that's a very strong rejection point. But as you can see, we just kept dumping and we never got the retracement, so no more trades for me. Okay, January 13th now. We're still displacing off this daily bearish value gap. Well, I guess we're not displacing, we're still respecting it. So drawing out previous day highs because super clean draw liquidity. Right, previous day highs inside of a fair value gap, super nice. Drawing out this daily bullish fair value gap as well, because price potentially might want to go there, and you know, just doesn't hurt to draw it out. So look at 4-hour. Once again, I mean, we have lows this liquidity run, but yeah, super clean lows this liquidity run. So we're not opposed to take a short either. So another tricky day where, you know, we're inside of a bearish higher time frame key level, but intraday is super bullish. So definitely have to play this one out a little bit more slow. I noticed we total soup this 15-minute bearish fair value gap, which is also the fair value gap that was made after tapping that bearish daily fair value gap. So the short model is there, right? We can take shorts because that's like, it's pretty A plus. So we just need to see a inverse fair value gap following the soup, and then we can look for shorts. Check the 1 minute time frame, market open, waiting. Now right here, I messed up my entry, but this was good trade because there was that internal stop rate at market open following that 1 minute inverse fair value gap, right? So we stop right at the top, checking to see if ES took break even spot, didn't. And to shorts, realistically my entry should have been right there, but I wasn't paying attention too much, but that's okay. So I'm gonna manage the trade as if I did take it that way, because it only makes sense to do that, because I'm teaching, you know, how would take the trade. Live markets, I mean, you can still enter right here, there's nothing wrong with it, it's just so. But as you can see, just the trade absolutely smacked. Could have held for that 1.5, either that 1 or 2. So very good trade. Now I know it's okay. I'm not supposed to take a longs here, right? Because we're inside this 15-minute bullish fair value gap, and we also have higher time frame support, you know, with the key levels. So I don't mind longer here either, especially with this displacement I'm seeing. So I enter my position, stop loss swing low, targeting that 101. Here's the 1 minute inverse fair value gap. Right, this is my break-even point, that internal high, and then drawing it out on ES as well. Break-even has been hit, stop loss always move to break-even, and then I get edge right here. Stopped at break-even, price was literally about 2 points away from TP, so very unfortunate, but those days do happen. On the live charts, I probably would have just exited, but it is what it is. January 14th now. Once again, started off with the daily time frame, drawing out these daily lows. Sell side, it's just a nice little wick, and we'll displace the low. So if we're going low, I want to find out where price might want to be going to. So potential draw on liquidity. Check out the 4 hour. We are displaced outside of this 4 hour bearish fair value gap. So once more, thinking this daily lows is my draw. We also respected this 1 hour bearish fair value gap, so still interested in shorts. I noticed we're inside that 4 hour bullish fair value gap, but we're starting to disrespect it, but we haven't yet. It's at 10 o'clock. 5 and 15 minute is just the consolidation. It's nothing too crazy. Look at this 5 minute. So if we inverse that, you can look for shorts. Market opens, start ripping up higher. I notice we have really nice lows just of liquidity. So I'm starting to think that this is my draw on liquidity, and maybe bias is wrong. So not opposed to longing, because like I said, we all coming off that 4 hour bullish fair value gap, and now we made our 5 minute bullish fair value gap. But price took my draw on liquidity before I could get an entry, so I'm no longer looking for longs, only looking for shorts now. So I want to see that 5 minute bearish fair value gap get created, which we did do there. So I want to see the retracement now. Seeing this SMT, there was a bearish SMT, so that helps me, or that furthermore makes me want to take shorts. See before right here, I did make a mistake, if I'm not mistaken. Never mind. No. Okay, right here, I skipped on the 5 minute, and then that caused me to miss my entry. So but there was an A+ trade here, and I'll show it. right? So right here, you would have entered off that 1 minute IFEG, targeting that 1-1. So, and right here would have been your break-even spot. So, made a mistake. As we can see, the trade did play out. So, A+ trade. I did go and take another trade, targeting the same amount of points just to keep the statistics real. But yeah, A+ trade. January 17th now. Checking the daily and the 4-hour. I noticed we have some pretty nice liquidity right here. Some nice buy side. That 14 or that 4-hour intermediate high, resting inside of fair value gap. So super clean. So don't mind longing up to that. Check the 1 hour. Price is currently inside of a 1 hour bullish fair value gap. That also made a total soup. So definitely interested in longs. Right here's unmitigated 4 hour bearish fair value gap, potential draw, and also a place where I wouldn't mind looking for shorts. But here we have super good low resistant liquidity run. So once I see this, I'm pretty okay with taking a bit of an aggressive trade. Meaning, if we invoice that 5 minute bearish fair value gap, I will look for longs, and I will not wait for a 5 minute bullish fair value gap to be created. So see, we're kind of wicking it. We're still wicking that gap, and then we just dump. So at this point in time, now we need to see new confluences, because we are displacing rather low. So I don't want to take any random fair value gap now. So gonna be more patient. I noticed we invoiced that 5 minutes, but I don't like the trade because, like I said, we're displacing low. But right here, I noticed we invoiced that 1 hour bullish fair value gap. So now longs to me aren't really possible, because we're not displaced off of any higher time frame key level. So can no longer take longs, and I'm not too interested in taking shorts. Despite market showing me that we are bearish, I don't like shorting when I have that draws on liquidity above me, right? That low resistant liquidity, super strong. So not interested in shorting against that. I noticed, we made this 5 minute. So I just draw it out, see what will happen. 1 minute. And the price just completely disrespects that. So bad price action overall. And no way I could take a trade. Today lacked higher time frame key levels. So just fast forward to see if markets could do anything, and it didn't. So that was the end of that day for me. Okay. January 18th. Start off on the daily time frame. See this potential sell side. Alright, it's not too bad. Once again, we're still in bearish market flow or order flow. So still interested in taking shorts. A 4 hour bearish fair value gap right here, which I would not mind looking at the short from. 1 hour. Draw this 1 hour bearish fair value gap. Another place we could look for shorts. 15 minute, just low resistant liquidity run. And we also have this 15 minute intermediate high. So I want to see this could take it out before I take any shorts. Drawing out that high on a yes. Okay. Going on to the 1 minute. And get ready to see market open. Market opens, and we just start running that low resistant liquidity. So not ideal, because once again I want that to be my targets. Made a bullish SMT, and we made relative equal lows. Now, this is a okay-ish long, but I don't like it for multiple reasons. It's a reversal long. We don't have any higher time frame key levels, and we took our break-even spot. So the candle that made the IFEG took my break-even spot, right? We swept the internal high, so the model is also invalid. So not a trade I would ever take. So see what market wants to do. Kind of just consolidating. We'll take that buy side level. No entries towards it. Alright, we have this 5 minute, which if we inverse that, you can look for shorts. We have a bearish SMT as well, so definitely don't want to be long in here. Okay, we made a 5 minute bearish for value gap, so I want to see a retracement into that for me to short. That would be A plus. So we got the retracement. Disregard the 5 minute bullish for value gap now, it's irrelevant. So I'm just looking for a IFEG, which we never got. Maybe a 30-second or 15-second, but nothing of 1 minute or up, so no trade for me. January 19th, we swept out that daily low we've been seeking all week, and we'll respect to that daily bullish for value gap. So pretty interesting longs here, especially bigger time frame. Looks bullish. 1 hour, you can see price traded into that 1 hour bullish for value gap. So definitely bullish. Right here is my buy side liquidity, so definitely want to target that. So again, drawing it on ES. Not as clean on ES as it is on NQ, but you know that does happen. Drawing out this internal low as sell side, that's a potential place where price might want to go, and a potential rejection place as well. So definitely a key level to have marked out. But do keep in mind we already traded into a higher time frame key level, and now we also have this 15-minute bullish for value gap, which we're currently trading into. So we could definitely look for longs without that sell side being taken, because the model has already presented itself. Tap of a higher time frame key level and then make it a 5 or 15-minute fair value gap following that. So just looking for an inverse fair value gap now to target longs. We have this 5-minute bearish fair value gap. So this is the fair value gap I want to see get disrespected for me to enter my position. Market opens, and my break-even spot did get taken for that trade, and we failed to inverse it, so that trade is invalid. This trade, once again, invalid. Bad entry or bad closure. If they cannot close like there, you could have targeted 1-to-1, but just overall no valid models, because like I said, break-even spot was taken. So break-even spot taken, no trades. So now I'm just looking for any more potential draws. That buy side still looks good, so I'm waiting to see a new 5 or 15-minute bullish fair value gap get created. Right here, I noticed we made a new 15-minute bullish fair value gap, so I want to see price come back to it and then look for a IFEG. Price traced into it. Fix to my settings. Okay, we have this 3-minute bearish fair value gap. I want to see this get inverse for me to take longs. As you can see, price just kept dumping, invalidating my 15-minute bullish fair value gap. So can no longer look for longs there, and I also can't look for shorts because we're not coming off of any higher time frame key level. So I kind of just have to sit here and watch. Not much I can do. Sell side was taken. If we make a new bullish fair value gap, I'll look for longs. As you can see, we just kept dumping, so no trade day. Today, January 20th, getting pretty close to the end of the month. Price is respecting this weekly bullish fair value gap, so pretty bullish at this point in time. We have this daily bearish fair value gap, which is potential draw on liquidity. Check out the 4 hour. I noticed we inversed that 4 hour bearish fair value gap, so feeding more into my bullish daily bias. Check out the 1 hour. I don't like the structure I'm seeing on the 1 hour. It's pretty choppy, so I'm drawing up this 1 hour bearish fair value gap because this is a strong rejection point, especially with how choppy pre-market has been and Asia and London session. Check out the 15-minute. Nothing I really see that I like. We have this 15-minute bullish fair value gap, which we could look for longs just to target that 1 hour bearish fair value gap, but overall nothing is great. Going to market open. See, there was a 3-minute right there, but invalid. Right here would have been my break-even spot, but it was invalidated. If we close somewhere around here, could have targeted 1 to 3, even higher. But like I said, my break-even spot's taken. I'm not taking the trade. So we tap into that 1 hour bearish fair value gap. At this point in time, I'm interested in shorts. So I want to see a 5-minute bearish fair value gap get created. But after seeing how far we are just rip it up in price, I'm thinking, okay, maybe my bias could be wrong. So when I'm gonna switch my bias, well, if this 1 hour bearish fair value gap gets disrespected, I am flipping my bias and no longer look for shorts. So original bias was bearish, or was bullish, but once we tapped into that 1 hour, I was leaning more bearish. So waiting for extra confirmation. I want to see that 1 hour get disrespected. I check to see right here, we disrespected it. So now I'm like, okay, we are definitely bullish. We have no more rejection levels. So I drop this 15-minute bullish fair value gap, which also overlaps with the 1 hour IFVG. So very strong place of rejection. Alright, checking to see if we're gonna make it 5-minute. Sometimes we do that. Right now I'm drawing out that 3-minute bearish fair value gap. Still waiting. Now right here, we did technically take out that internal high, which would be my break-even spot. But I did take this trade anyway because I was very confident that we was bullish. So despite this technically taking the internal high, I was willing to take it because how bullish we are. Right? We just inversed a 1 hour fair value gap, and now we're respecting a 15-minute bullish fair value gap. There's no reason for price to go lower. So I'm okay with kind of bending the rules in this scenario. And ES also has low resisted liquidity run leading up to that internal high. So break even at bare minimum should get hit nonetheless. So I was okay with entering a long position here. Stops at the swing low. Targeting just a 1-to-1. As you can see, break even gets hit. Stop loss move to break even. And take profits. So not the easiest of trades to spot. And I wanted to see if a 1 to 5 would get hit, but and it would have been a break even trade. Okay, now January 24th. Check out the daily. Not seeing anything I really like. We're kind of just dumping. This right here is my draw on liquidity, my sell side. So I want to see this get taken. If we take it, I'll be interested in looking for longs, but as of right now, I want to short to that level. We're inside of a 4 hour bearish fair value gap, and we have this 1 hour intermediate high, which is my buy side. We're also inside this 1 hour bearish fair value gap. So ideally, this is where I would want to short at. Would be inside this 1 hour. Check the 15-minute. Pretty choppy. Alright, so just going on to the 1 minute, see market open. I want to see what price does. We tap that buy side level, so interested in only shorting from here. As we see, start to display slow. Tap up the 4 hour. And right here, there could have been a short, but break-even spot was taken, so just ignore that. And then right here, we took that daily low, my sell side. So now I'm interested in longs. So I want to see a 5 or 15-minute bullish fair value gap get created. Retracement, IFG, the same thing every single day. Right, so showing off the 3-minute trade you could have taken, but invalid because my break-even spot was taken. Right here, we're at my break-even, and I see with the candle that made the IFG took it, so no trade for there. So again, just checking time frames, make sure I didn't miss anything. Right here, we'll make a 5-minute bullish for value gap, so I could look for longs. Make another 5-minute, so this one is just as good. Okay, wait to see IFG. See if there's a 3-minute or 5-minute. There's not. So right here, we do make a 1-minute IFG. Checking to see if ES also made it, see what ES is doing. I will say, this isn't my favorite trade because we were consolidating and we do have some stack lows under us. But with that being said, I do like the displacement that was made during the IFG, and I noticed we had a bullish SMT, so that added a lot more confidence to my trade. Was that SMT? If we didn't have that SMT, probably would not have taken it. And I also noticed that ES didn't take that high, so ES does have a reason to go up higher. So after seeing that, enter my position, target at 1-1, stop loss at the SMT low / swing low. Joining my break even on ES, and as you can see, 1-to-1 hits. Pretty decent trade, but not my favorite. It's now January 24th. Checking bigger time frames as always. Not much I'm really seeing here that I'm a big fan of. We are respecting and delivering from this 4-hour bullish fair value gap. So could take potential longs here, but we're also inside of a 1-hour bearish fair value gap. So we're in between multiple conditions on higher time frame, and like I said before, I'm not a fan of that. It's just it's a bit confusing, a bit too many opportunities I suppose for either side, so I don't like that. Now we have this 1-hour bearish for value gap, which I could look for shorts for because we are still bearish, but as you can see, got nothing offered from that. That 4 hours still holding. Alright, ideally I want to short inside of this buy side, but like I said, I mean, no real bias or conditions because we are in between multiple higher time frame key levels. So I'm kind of just waiting to see what happens. There's nowhere I'm like locked down what I want to see. We have that bearish SMT. We have that 1-minute inversion. So short sale doesn't look bad whatsoever. These are two different ways you could set your break-even spots. One's a little bit more internal, one's a little bit more external. Enter sells here. Because of the SMT, because we are coming off the 1 hour. So took sells. Once again, not my favorite market conditions. But if you see right here, my break-even did get hit. So you could either put break-even at that external low, internal low, but either way, ES took the external low. As you can see right here, winning trade. So I mean, decent, could have held for more, but I didn't like how he was displaced out that 4 hour bullish fair value gap, so played the most safely. Okay, January 25th. Check out all the time frames to see if we're gonna be, you know, what would displace it out of. Once I have a monthly, weekly, and daily bullish fair value gap, but overall price is still bearish, so not too interested in longs. This 1 hour bearish fair value gap is where I would want to long at, because it's a little bit more higher in premium, and you know, I favor higher time frames over the lower time frames, right? So we do have this 15-minute as well, but I'm not gonna take a 15-minute if a 1 hour is just above. So I'm just waiting to see if we get that retracement. We saw kind of just dumping and wicking out. We were, you know, not really doing much. We went lower into discount, but we failed to displace up higher, and we're just consolidating. So once I saw this, it just became a no trade day for me. January 26th, drawing out this daily fair value gap, as that is a good draw on liquidity and potential price to look for shorts. But definitely pretty confident that price will want to go there, just because of how close we are to it. Check the 4 hour. Right, we have no real rejection points. We have this 1 hour bullish fair value gap, so we could look to take longs from there if we get that retracement. Check the 15-minute. We are inside of a 15-minute bullish fair value gap. Just waiting. 1 hour gets hit. I'm gonna go, okay, cool. Now I want to see my motto. So I want to see that 5-minute bullish fair value gap get created. Right here is a potential reversal entry off that 3-minute IFEG that it will be created. But I don't like it, A, because it's a reversal model, and B, because there's multiple fair value gaps within that manipulation leg. I like it when there's a single fair value gap within the manipulation leg. So make a 5-minute bullish fair value gap. We're looking for IFEG to come out of it, but we saw it displace a low, we inverse it. So I think I found that a little odd, especially after leaving relative equal highs. But then I noticed that ES took that buy side, making it bearish SMT. So now I'm pretty bearish because of the SMT and the reaction from that SMT. It's very clear that we are flipping bearish. So we make that 5-minute bearish fair value gap, which I wouldn't mind seeing a retracement in. But I would prefer to take shorts off this buy side level, because not only is it relative equal highs, but because NQ didn't actually take any liquidity. All we did was make an SMT, we didn't take anything. So I get the 15-minute. Made this 15-minute bearish fair value gap. Could look for shorts there. But we have to just wait and see if anything gets offered. Right here we have a total soup. Now I do take longs here because we did enter in a 1 hour bullish fair value gap, and we then made a stop rate followed by a super nice 5-minute IFEG, and it's a bit of a mech model trade, meaning we can expect price to want to rebalance that 15-minute fair value gap. So the draw on liquidity is very strong, despite us being more bearish intraday. The draw on liquidity is very strong. So I was pretty confident that my break even would get hit. Stop loss moved to break even, and we do end up taking a dub there. Very choppy day, not great, because we was going between multiple higher time frame POIs, but that happens. Okay, January 27th, we're drawing out this 4-hour bearish fair value gap, as is a potential place we could look for shorts. Drawing that out. Going to the 1 hour, I recognize we're also inside a 1 hour bearish fair value gap, and we have this sell side resting below, that being a 1 hour intermediate low inside of a fair value gap. And then of course, just drawing out my buy side for my external range, and then doing the same thing on ES. Okay, that's been drawn out. Going to the 15-minute, I recognize we have a lot of low resistant liquidity run, so I want to short here. So I'm not too interested in longs, but here we make our 5-minute bearish fair value gap. So I want to see a retracement, IFPG, look for shorts. We inverse it, so obviously I can no longer short here. So that 5-minute is invalid. We do sort of displacing up higher, but still only interested in shorts, as we have a lot of low resistant liquidity run, and because we're not coming off of a higher time frame key level, and we're also inside a 1 hour bearish fair value gap, so not too interested. I recognize we hit CE of the 1 hour bearish fair value gap, so I'm like, okay, definitely don't want a long here. And let me wait for my 5-minute bearish fair value gap to get created, which we made. Right, check it CE, bang, rejection off the CE, which is contra encroachment, which is EQ essentially. If you know what equilibrium is, same shit. So wait to see that retracement. Still waiting. We did tap into a newer 5-minute, so I'm looking for some IFPGs. Alright, not the 3-minute or the 5-minute. We made this 15-minute bearish fair value gap, so now ideally I want to see price trade into that over a 5-minute bearish, right? Because you always want to prioritize higher time frames. But SMT was made, so we didn't need price to tap into that 15-minute bearish fair value gap because of the SMT. If there was no SMT, then we would need to see it. Price just starts chopping around here, consolidating. So no potential trades there, and we start displacing up higher, so no trade day for me. Okay, January 28th, second daily, 4 hour, right? Nothing crazy. We do have this 4 hour bullish SMT though, so I'm leaning slightly more bullish because of that, and because we started to get reaction, right? We get a pretty bullish reaction. We have some nice equal highs inside of a bearish fair value gap, so big fan of the drawn liquidity I see here. So definitely more bullish than bearish, despite it looking bearish on the bigger time frame. We also have this super nice 15-minute bullish fair value gap, so I want to see a retracement to this and then get an IFPG, and then obviously look for longs. Because I'm checking the 1 hour as well, and we have no 1 hour bearish fair value gap that's really acted as resistance for us. Drawing out this 15-minute intermediate high because it is a pretty good liquidity pool. Right, we made this bearish SMT, but still bullish until this 15-minute gets disrespected, and then if this 15-minute gets disrespected, there's no trade because we're not displacing and we have no support from a higher time from key level. So I want to see price inverse this 5-minute so I can take it long. Right, but we keep displacing low. Check to see when we inverse this 15-minute. We inverse this 15-minute bullish fair value gap, and from here I'm no longer interested in longs, and I'm not too interested in shorts either because we don't have any displacement from the higher time frame. Oh, sorry, we don't have any support from the higher time frame. Price never tapped into a 1 hour or 4 hour bearish fair value gap. So I'm just kind of seeing what price wants to do. Just kind of watching it, but not really interested in too much. All right, we have this 1 minute right here, which, you know, could act as a potential trade. It's not a bad pattern trade, but it didn't play out, right? That trade would have definitely played out if there was support from the higher time frame. So once I saw that, I was kind of like, okay, this stays washed because displaced it up higher, but, you know, we didn't sweep anything. All we did was inverse at 15 minute, and that was it. We didn't take any lows or anything. So that's pretty much the end of the day for me. Wasn't interested in seeing too much else. Right. Just kind of watching the chart, sees what it does. We have this 15 minute we're respecting. Could take a potential short off this 5 minute IPG. But once again, not my favorite of trades because there's 2 fair value gaps in the leg. And it got respected anyway. So we failed to inverse it. So drawing liquidity was correct, bias was right, but bad market conditions. Yep, you can see played out the way I thought it would, but no entries. Okay, January 31st, last traded day of the month. So identifying my drawn liquidity, my buy side, this daily high inside of a fair value gap. So as we know from now, super strong drawn liquidity. So price action is looking pretty bullish. We have this unmitigated 4 hour bullish fair value gap, so potentially a place we could look for longs. But you can also see we already made a total soup with this 1 hour bullish fair value gap, so we really don't need to go any lower. This is plenty. So looking for a potential entry now, right? A 5 or 15 minute bullish fair value gap. As you can see, pre-market, so at 9:25, I guess 9:29. At 9:30, this 5 minute will close, give us a A++ model, but we can't take it. Why? Because it's at market open. So that's just something you don't want to do. Super good, low resistant liquidity, but can't take the trade because exactly, look, 9:30 price wicks down and then it goes up. So if you enter that position, it would have been a losing trade, and then it would have went in your favor. So it's a good thing, you know, didn't take this position because it would have been a loss. So drawing this new 5 minute bullish fair value gap, I want to see retracement because price is clearly displacing up higher to my drawn liquidity. So another 5 minute, once again, waiting for pullback. We pull back into that fair value gap, making sure we're not at a rejection level, which we're not. Right here, I noticed we made this 1 minute bearish fair value gap. So ideally, this is where I want to long at. So wait to see the IFVG get created so I can enter my position. As you can see, we did inverse it, but we took our break-even spot. So obviously a invalid trade. Ideally, I would have liked for price to close, you know, where I put my P&L at, but but we didn't get that, so that's what it is. Made another 5 minute. Wanted to see if price will go to that, right? So I could look to enter in before this drawn liquidity gets taken. Right, no SMTs. And it's taken. So now longs doesn't work for me. So realistically, I mean, you could look for shorts if a model gets offered, but still not that I really like here. Just fast forward and see what's gonna happen. Start consolidating a little bit. I check the time. We'll get pretty close to 11. Once 11 hits, a no trade day. Okay, so that has been all of January 2022. Let's check the stats. Right, so I have a 100% win rate. Go to my session settings once again. 100% win rate, 11 trades, Out of that 11 trades, I took 7 1-to-1 winners and 4 break-even trades.